It's a beautiful Wednesday in Chicago, although it was pouring rain this morning and throughout much of yesterday. I was to pick up my last load before I head up to Green Bay for Andy and Chelsea's wedding. Picking up at what I believe is a paper recycling facility or something along those lines here in Chicago. Taking it somewhere in Green Bay. It's been a pretty good week since I made my last video. I've had things not go as expected here and there, but at this point, 3 months into the job...
In 0.2 miles, turn left on West 41st Street, and then approaching destination on the right side in 650 feet.
I really have reached the point where the little things that go wrong or don't go as expected really don't faze me at all, so that's been great. I think the last time I made a video I told you I was taking a load from the south up to Indiana. Then from there I headed back east, delivered a load in York, Pennsylvania. Went to Mass at a pretty little church in Williamsport, Maryland, near Hagerstown. And my next load took me from York to Moorhead, Kentucky. And from Kentucky I headed back up this way. Spent last night at the Schneider Terminal in Gary. And it's a good thing that I was planning to go there because I ended up needing to go there to replace blown fuse that directs power to my right turn signal lights on the trailer. So I would have had to go there anyway to get that fixed. And I delivered this morning.
Approaching destination in 500 feet on the right side.
Delivered this morning into Caleb, Illinois. Then picked up another load at the place where I delivered. Took that a short distance. A little bit south of here. And
You have arrived at your destination on the right side, 3883 W 41st Street.
And now I need to figure out where I'm supposed to go here. Looks like I might have to do a difficult backing job. It wasn't easy getting in here. As you might have been able to see at the end of the last clip, there was someone backing into the dock over here from the street. And I didn't have to do that, but because that was going on and I wasn't sure what to do, so I asked the guy who was helping to guide the driver into the dock, like, hey, I'm here for a pickup, what should I do? And he didn't really answer my question. He just said, like, yeah, I tried to tell you, this driver's backing in, and he didn't really answer my question, so I wasn't sure what to do. So I ended up having to get turned around, had to go around the block, come down the street this way again, and ultimately was able to get into a spot with much less difficulty than I thought I would have. And my work assignment said that this was going to be a live load, so I thought I might have to wait here a while, but luckily that's not the case. This trailer is already loaded with the waste paper that I'm taking to the recycling center in Green Bay. So I'm gonna unhook from this trailer here, hook up to that one, and be on my way. This is by far the calmest I've ever felt in bumper-to-bumper traffic. As I've said before, I'm trying to overcome my tendency to always be anxious to get where I'm going as quickly as possible because of all the pressure to...
In 1 mile, keep to the left on I-90 West, I-94 West.
Put in as many miles as possible, not let my legal hours of service run out. Find a safe, legal place to park each night. That makes it even harder than it would under other circumstances not to get all worked up over traffic. Right now it's easier than normal not to let my emotions get out of hand because in 94 in Chicago, you know it's going to be backed up at all times except overnight. And it also helps that I'm going to be done tomorrow morning and taking a 34-hour restart, so this isn't going to have a significant impact on my hours or how much money I'm making. As I said last week on my Facebook page, I'd like to congratulate all my friends at Drexel who graduated last week. All of them just came home here to Chicago. So I'm going to be working full time here. I'm not sure if I'm going to have anything to do after I arrive in Green Bay tomorrow, deliver my load, and then park at the Shiner training facility for the wedding. I texted Andy, asked him if there's anything going on that I could potentially be invited to. I understand they might already have a limited number of seats in the rehearsal dinner, so I'm not expecting to be invited to that. But if they're doing anything else, I hope I can do that. And if not, I'll probably work on writing a short summary of my vocational discernment up until now that one of the priests of the community of St. John wants me to write. I've scheduled an individual discernment retreat
Instruction ahead
at their priory in New Jersey in October. I've already visited their priory here in Illinois, in Princeville. I went there for the Easter Triduum last year during Spiritus. So now I'm going to get to see what one of their priories in a more urban setting looks like. In Orange, near Newark. And I should really also look into other orders I might want to discern. But I've been lazy, so I really need to get on that. Quick stop here to scale this load at the TA just south of the state line. Luckily there are no
600 feet, turn left on Old US 41.
Luckily there are no way stations on 94. There's a way station just south of here on 41, which is the non-toll road connecting Wisconsin to Chicago. This is a pretty heavy load, 42,000 pounds. Enough that my tandems probably need to be in a specific hole. but not so heavy that I should need to worry about having to slide my fifth wheel. And ever since I had to slide my fifth wheel forward 2 holes for that loaded meter, I haven't moved it since then, and it's been fine. So
In a quarter mile, take the entrance to the right on I-94 East, Chicago, Edwards Road, and then turn left in 750 feet.
to have to slide my fifth wheel again, I would have to have
In 0.2 miles, take the entrance to the
extremely
right
heavy
on
load.
I-94 East, Chicago, Edwards Road, and then turn left in 750 feet.
Yeah, it would have to be like right up against legal maximum weight of 80,000 for me to have to slide my fifth wheel again. So it's in a good spot now. Just gonna make a quick stop here and then go to the pilot in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where I'm assigned to fuel. And we'll stay there for the night and go to Green Bay in the morning. Like the last time I recorded, I do need to slide my tandems this time. Trailer axles were over by 120 pounds. So I think I'm in the 9th or 10th hole right now, so pull out the tandem release handle. You can see right now I'm in hole number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we've got plenty of weight to spare on the drive axles. They're only 28,000 something. So I'll probably slide back to the 14th hole. That should bring the trailer axle down by more than enough, without any risk of putting the drive axles overweight. I made it to Oak Creek without any problems. Right around the corner from St. Stephen's Parish, where I had a great, wonderful confirmation retreat that we did with Spiritus last year. I feel like that was one of the best retreats, if not the best retreat that I personally had last year, because I was just feeling really out of it that day, as was the case for many of the retreats after I knew that I wasn't going to be coming back for another year. But even though I just wasn't feeling in it, the Holy Spirit just worked so powerfully to speak through me that day. And unlike many of my teammates who received multiple emails from multiple students throughout the year thanking them for being so inspirational and helpful and asking them follow-up questions about the faith, I only received one such email from a student thanking me after a retreat, and it was from a young lady on the confirmation retreat at St. Stephen's. I wish I would have realized sooner that I was going to be staying here for the night, and that, because if I had realized that sooner, before I set my delivery ETA for this trip, I could have made it a little later so that I could have stayed here long enough to go to daily mass in the morning. Well, it's been a couple weeks since I last told part of my life story, and now it's time to tell the final part of it. I left off last time talking about how I struggled in the job that I had last fall, and now I'll take you through to how I got to where I am right now. So by mid-October, I had a strong sense that I wasn't going to get any better at that hall director job, but I was not yet thinking about quitting. That changed a week later, when I had my first quarter performance review with my boss. Unlike my RA bosses, who always gave me satisfactory marks with just one or two minor suggestions for improvement on each of my performance reviews, I now had a boss who gave me the unsatisfactory marks that I indisputably deserved for my utter failure at building relationships with the students, though she was very pleased with my performance in all other aspects of the job. Now, I knew at this point that it wasn't just me thinking that I was doing a terrible job of interacting with the students entrusted to my care. And so now I had to ask myself how much harder I could really try. I didn't want to burden my boss and the other hall directors by quitting and making them find a replacement for me, but I knew in my heart there was no way I could motivate myself to try any harder to build relationships with the students. As an RA at Drexel, I always had that motivation because whether I had the RA job or not, I needed to be on campus to take classes, and having free room and board as an RA saved me a ton of money. But in this high school residence hall, I was only there for that job, so getting to live and eat there for free wasn't as valuable as it was at Drexel. Ever since I first started interviewing for Drexel co-ops, I'd been telling myself and employers in job interviews that I could overcome my shyness whenever it was necessary to meet my job expectations. And I thought that was true all those years. But now I realize that it took much more motivation than I originally thought. And nothing was going to give me that motivation in this job. The next question I had to answer was what I would do if I quit mid-year. I already knew I had little to no chance of landing another Catholic job without more education or experience, and the grad schools and religious orders I was interested in only had new people start their program at a specific time of year, so I would have had to wait several months after quitting to start any of that. A couple weeks before I had this performance review, I thought of becoming a trucker as my last resort option for the coming year, because I knew I had the intellectual gifts to do so much more than that. But then I started to feel more attracted to the prospect of being a trucker. In prayer, I tried to discern why I was feeling this way, because I only wanted to act on those feelings if I was confident that God put them on my heart. I knew it was possible these feelings might be tied to my fear of rejection or going into debt if I were to apply to grad school. And I knew these weren't good or holy reasons to discern onto a different career path. In the end, I discerned that this desire was of God because I felt increasingly at peace about it as I prayed over it more and more. But I didn't make a final decision immediately. The performance review just happened to take place the day before I was scheduled to go on a discernment retreat with the Norbertines of Dalesford Abbey in the western Philly suburbs. The Norbertines were the only order that I initially felt called to visit when I started to discern religious life, because I got to know them during Spiritus when I visited their abbey here in Wisconsin a few times. And more recently, after reflecting on my experiences with the community of St. John at Easter and Ecclesia last year, then I realized, I might want to discern joining them too. If I go into religious life, I think I would like to have a good balance of prayer, service, and community life. And I really like the balance that the Norbertines and the community of St. John have in those areas. They're both a great bunch of guys, and I get along wonderfully with them whenever I visit them. The joy that I experienced in their community life, along with a witness talk that I heard on that retreat by a former diocesan priest turned Norbertine, confirmed my feelings that I definitely was not called to diocesan priesthood, at least not right now. I was surprised to find when I got to that retreat that I was the youngest guy there by several years. And before the retreat, I thought I was nearing the end of my prime years to begin formation for the priesthood or religious life, but apparently later vocations are fairly common for the Norbertines these days. And I left that retreat feeling like I really wanted to apply to the Norbertines someday, but first I felt more strongly than ever that God was calling me to give trucking a try before reconsidering religious life. My only concern was that I thought God might consider it selfish of me to put a secular career before religious life when I felt a call to both. So I emailed the Norbertine Vocation Director right after the retreat explaining how I felt. And he told me it's perfectly fine not to rush my discernment at this stage of my life. And with that, I made up my mind that I wanted to be a trucker. Now I just had to tell my boss that I wanted to quit. I knew it would be selfish to quit against her will because I could easily start CDL school at any time of year. But she was very understanding when I told her and didn't express any anger or frustration over needing to search for a replacement. So then the job listing for my replacement went up in November, and I was able to quit right before Christmas and start CDL school right after Christmas. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I came to be who I am today. Should have this load delivered in Green Bay by noon tomorrow. Then I'll go park at the Schneider Training Center, and then it'll be time for the festivities. Till next time, please keep me in your prayers, and I'll keep you in mine. God bless.